are now tuned into the greatest sports show on the planet. That's Prince, and he's Barty. And you're now listening to Prince and Barty. Buckle up.
Prince and Barty, we back, man.
Back like we never left.
Man, so much to get into. First of all, man, congratulations, man. Eagles fly. How does it feel, bro?
You already know, man, the birds fly south for the bowl. I've been saying that the whole time. Shout out to the Eagles. We did pull it out. We finally get a chance to host that Lombardi Trophy since 2018, 2017. And it's good. It's good for the team. Shout out to Howie Roseman. I think he's the real MVP.
For sure.
Saquon, Vic Fangio, picking up all these cats. Just makes things crazy for the organization itself. But, I mean, you know, when you look at the stage of the game, you know, we knew Eagles was the dominant team. But let's look at the other side of the ball. Is this the worst receiving core Patrick Mahomes has ever had?
You know what's crazy? I don't know. Because last time they beat y'all, Juju Smith, like that, you know, you had Hollywood Brown, you had Worthy. They had a good receiving core. They just couldn't get it off. You know what I mean? I think by them not running the ball, the Eagles just knew what to do. They gonna keep passing every down. It was almost what happened to Lamar against the Chiefs, where they stopped running the ball.
Facts.
So it's like, I don't know what Andy Reid was thinking. He was probably just looking at the lead, like, we got to get points. But they just wasn't able to make something shake. But, I mean, we've been saying it all year. Mahomes, they've been squeaking by field goals, missed field goals, refs helping them out. So they didn't have, like, decisive wins the whole year. So we can't act like we're shocked when you play the number one defense.
Facts.
The number one off, like, I don't think there's any shock. I mean, what I'm more shocked about is the lack of adjustments with Andy Reid. Like, it was zero adjustments. Like, you just got punched in the mouth and it was just nothing.
Well, you know, I saw Philly Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. Philly Andy Reid didn't run the ball as much. He just wanted to be pass heavy. Andy Reid always loses when he does not run the ball. It's a given fact. If he would run the ball more, that's why Philly has gone the way they've gone, where both teams that we had that won a Super Bowl had predominantly rushing squads, because of Andy always wanted to pass first. Now, with the quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, you can get away with that, but with a defense like Vic Fangio, you have to run the ball to keep it honest, because they have everything in front of them. That's what they want to do. They line it up where they let the front four do all the work, and they did an exceptional job versus Patrick. But Andy did not have his play calling down. And I think another thing it's safe to say now, I think it's time for Travis to hang up the cleats.
Yeah, he looked like a shell of himself. It was,
yeah.
I was joking. I was like, you remember when Travis had the ball fade? He was dating the little, the bad little chick with the body. I remember a lot of my black homegirls specifically, they was into Travis. Oh, that's a sexy white boy. He likes Channing Tatum. And right when he got with Taylor, you know, he was just, his haircut, he kind of started to look like Tobey Maguire, man. His haircut started looking crazy.
Facts.
And I think he kind of lost his superpowers. He got 100-something million for that New Heights podcast. You know, he's dating Taylor Swift. So a lot of guys can't win and stay hungry. I think Patrick Mahomes he just wants to play football. You know, he don't want to do nothing else. You don't see Mahomes golfing. You don't see him doing nothing else. He's obsessed with football. I mean, everybody's not like that. I think Kelce has fatigue, man.
Yeah, I think fatigue is definitely part of it. But I also think, too, you playing a sport and you taking hits for so long, after a while your body is going to wear down. And you've been Patrick Mahomes' safety blanket. You've been the greatest safety blanket of all time. You know, when we talk tight ends, Jay Novacek, Brent Jones, Gronkowski, Dwight Clark, you put the same name of Kelce up there with these great names. And tight ends take a lot of hits because they catch the ball over the middle. So, you know, between that, then all the travel time with you and the Swifties going to these concerts and all these things you got going on, you can't do both. So it's going to be interesting.
Nah, for sure, man. But let's get into this Barty report, man. It's so much going on free agency wise. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets have officially said, "Get out of here, dog. Beat it, scram." Like it was just like we don't even. We done with the ayahuasca. We done with the skipping the OTAs. We just done with the bad example for our team. What does Aaron Rodgers do now? Because you got egg on your face, man. You was on Pat McAfee show every week. You was just really bucking the system, man. You was just doing what you wanted to do out here. You know what I mean? You got paid, and you didn't produce. I mean, he had a decent year. If you look at the numbers, anybody else would have had them numbers. He would have been like, that was a decent year, right? But we have expectations for Aaron Rodgers. You inherited at the time that defense was good. They just wet the bed. What's next for Aaron Rodgers, man?
Aaron Rodgers has become the greatest diva quarterback of all time. He thinks he has Bron and Michael Jordan capabilities with my friends and people I could sign and put on the team and get coaches fired or fire assistants. He's doing everything that is detrimental to his team, and the Jets are done with it. The Jets are a team win now. You're in the city with the Giants, who's a winning organization. You're in the city with the Yankees, who's a winning organization. Even the Knicks are now a winning organization. And the Jets haven't been a winning organization since Testaverde and Keyshawn Johnson. So when you look at that situation, they're in trouble. They're definitely in trouble. And so I don't know where Aaron is going to go where he can do all the things that he's doing. The perfect fit for him would be to go play for his where his former coach used to play at, which is, I think he'll be good in Dallas. But there's nothing you can do with him in Dallas because, of course, you have your quarterback in Dak Prescott.
Y'all paid him, too.
Yeah, so there's no situation that would just everything aligns itself perfectly for him to win, other than I would probably say the Cowboys. And even with the Cowboys, if coaching is not aligned, it's going to be a problem as well. So, I mean, it's not too much for him. I mean, I heard some talks about him possibly going out to Las Vegas to play with the Raiders. But what can he do there,
Yeah, it's tough, man, because I think I heard the Steelers, but it's like you got Pickens. Who are your receivers for the Steelers, So there's no easy fit for anything, You look at Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins is still – it's a lot of veteran quarterbacks. Danny Dimes is still out there. So it's looking like the Vikings got to re-sign Sam Darnold.
Facts.
I know they got the rookie that got hurt last year. But, I mean, you got to go – 14 wins is 14 wins. I mean, he definitely wet the bed towards the end of that last season. But, I mean, he got you 14 wins.
He got you 14 wins. That's
so
true. That's true.
You can't just get 14 wins off the street. But – when you look at, like, receivers, man, you look at T. Higgins, I don't know. I know that Joe Burrow just made a statement like, hey, the Eagles paid. They paid their best players. But Joe just got paid. He said he'll restructure his contract. Jamar's up. He got to be the highest. And now you got T. Higgins that got to get paid. It's funny. Joe is my pick for us going to the Super Bowl next year.
Oh, you mean Bengals?
Bengals. That's my early pick. Because I think Joe is going to come back from what he was able to do towards the end and bring it on. I think if he has a full year, they're able to figure some things out scheme-wise for him. I like Joe over a lot of them, man. I'm a Mahomes boy, but as far as when Joe's in that bag, Joe has the better receiver out of all of them people.
He does. The best number one.
The best number one. So, I mean, Patty has to get this guy. I mean, him and Worthy are building something, you know what I mean? But Chiefs got to do something, man. They better try to get Debo. They better try to get T. Higgins. Well, they got to do something.
If they can get off that contract with Kelce and put the money elsewhere, they'll be fine. Kelce needs to retire. You got Gray and them other boys at the tight end position, and Patty's already molding them. Just get you a number one receiver. Somebody who can get you 8 to 10 yards,
right?
And they'll be fine. But a lot of people don't see it from that perspective. But it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, this free agency is gonna be. How many? What's Dallas gonna do? Are they gonna pick up our boy from the Browns?
That's the gist of it. They're saying that they'll pair them two up, and they'll have the best pass rush in the league with Michael on one side and Myles Garrett on the other, which I would love to see. That should be interesting. But the problem I always see with something like that too is you're playing into Philly's hands, because a pass rush doesn't stop the run. It actually makes the run even more easy to run on. So if I were the Cowboys, I would get a couple of DTs. You need defensive tackles to beat Philly. The team that I think in the NFC will probably win next year will be the Lions. Next year is the Lions' year. No injuries. Everybody be healthy. Maybe have I might even side with you, a Bengals Lions Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Two teams that haven't won in a long time. So somebody's fan base will be happy. But, I mean, you can't count out Philly and you can't count out Patty, because we know what Patty can do. But the question is, how do they revamp?
Right.
Because that's one thing that you know about Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes' team. When they lost Tyreek Hill, they revamped. They revamped the defense, one of the best defenses in the league. Then they revamped the offense with the rushing game with Pacheco. But, of course, Pacheco was hurt. And another thing, too, we can't sleep on Rasheem Rice was out.
Yeah. And
that's his number one. So let's see what happens. If he can, Rasheem and Worthy come back, you may have something going. And a mad Patrick Mahomes might be a sight to see.
No, for sure. I know. What do you think about Matthew Stafford?
Matt Stafford, the thing about Matt Stafford is he has Puka, but they're talking about trading Cooper Kupp. So who are you going to bring in? And so they need defense. That's what I think. Their defense is still lacking. Yeah, Jared Verse got the defensive rookie of the year. Of course, that was a highway robbery. They should have gave it to our cornerback, but we got the Super Bowl championship. But I think that they need something on the defensive side. Puka Nacua is a top 5 receiver in the league, but you need something to put on the defensive side of the ball. I got something for you. The Giants gonna be a playoff team next year.
Here you go, man. You always high on these Giants, man.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you this. Look at it this way. Watch the NFC East. One year, it was the Eagles and the Giants. Another year, and this is when they went to the Super Bowl, it was the Eagles and the Skins. It's time for the Giants to come back up. The NFC East is such a bulldog of a division.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just watch what the other team is doing. And the only thing that's killing the Giants is turnovers. So if they can get a quarterback to come in there, let's see what they do in the draft. Let's say they get Cam Drake. You put Cam Drake in that situation, who's to say what happens then?
Yeah, I mean, I like Cam Ward, but I think that I'd even want like a veteran, bro. It sounds crazy. I'll even take a Kirk Cousins, just a Band-Aid to stop the bleeding, and then throw him in there if it go left. You know what I mean? I think a veteran could really have, my guy Malik Neighbors going. Like, because think about it, if you had a competent QB, he was able to do that with nothing.
I'm just trying to think, who's a competent free agent QB other than maybe Cousins? And you don't want Kirk Cousins. He's a bum. Yeah, he couldn't even listen. That Atlanta team was decent.
Yeah, that was a playoff team.
Yeah, and he couldn't get him across the hump. Tampa got him with no receivers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. Next season, 2025, 2020, I'm looking forward more to fantasy, because just imagine if Myles Garrett or my man gets on the same team, it's over with. It is a wrap.
Prince and Barty is your number one source for all things sports. Now streaming on Spotify and iTunes.
Man, you know what time it is. Holding the Court with Prince. This particular segment is brought to you by Prince Francis Group. You definitely go check them out online, Prince Francis Group, at Prince Francis Group. But listen, let's dive into NBA talks real quick. I want to ask this question. This came across my desk. The NBA has 3 positions: forwards, centers, and guards. Has Steph Curry in the guard position, not shooting guard, the guard position together, joint together, has he submerged himself as the second greatest guard to ever play in the NBA? Because we know who the first is, Michael Jordan. And then the second, of course, is Bean. Has Steph now put that fear, put that that 3-point shot of him being that guy, that dude. 4 championships, Finals MVP. Of course, that championship was a while back, but we look at what he did in the Olympics. So do we claim him as the guard heir apparent, or are we still disrespectful to the bean?
I mean, I think for me, Magic and Kobe, they have the winning edge over obviously 5 championships. But Magic has 4.
5.
Magic has 5. You get what I mean? So it's tough. Now, as far as being prolific, you got to give it to Steph. You know, kind of what he's doing. He's still dominant all these years. You know what I mean? I think kind of what hurt Magic, obviously, you know, his health and things of that nature, but he wasn't dominant for a long time, like well into the 90s. You know, he owned the 80s, him and Bird. But as far as he didn't like dominate like we're seeing LeBron, dominate like we've seen Michael, dominate like we've seen LeBron and these people, right? So that's why that's the only thing. Magic's a great winner. I think he's still more of a prolific winner, winning in college, winning his rookie year. You know, it's hard to take that away. Steph wasn't even nowhere near that, you know, when he first started. But as far as what Steph's doing right now, I think since the second half of the season, or since the trade deadline, he's averaging more points, most threes, highest 3-point percentage. So he's been balling right now. And a lot of people don't think Golden State has anything to play for. So I think it's hard, man. I mean, it's one of those things where if you ask somebody who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron, there's no wrong answer. I don't think nobody ain't gonna fight you if you say Steph's the greatest point. Like, I don't think I don't know. I think it's up in the air with that for sure.
Most definitely. Let's talk All-Star, man. You know, there's a song by Mark Morrison called "Return of the Mac." Return of the Mac. We every time at this time of year, we know 2 things are gonna happen. Number 1, somebody gonna buy their girl a funny card for Valentine's Day. Number 2, Mac McClung is gonna win the dunk contest. What have we seen from this guy? I mean, is it safe to say that he's in the Mount Rushmore of dunkers?
It's you know what? It's the Mac McClung stimulus package. You know, you know, Adam Silver. Hey Mac, we need you again. You know, it was a crazy stat where I think you get $100,000. You get $100,000 for winning the dunk contest. Mac McClung has won over $300,000, more than his salary that he's earned so far. But here's the thing, man. Like, being a hooper, yes, I know he's happy he could dunk and do this, but he wants to make a team. I think the first time he won, he was with the Sixers, right? He was on the Sixers G League on a 2-way contract. Other time he was with Orlando. I think he's still with Orlando. So I feel like it's bittersweet. Now, you getting that bread, everybody knows you. It ain't like we're seeing, I don't know how many endorsements he has, or I don't know his business outside of it, but end of the day, you want to be on the NBA roster. You know what I mean? You don't want to be looked at as like a mascot. I feel like he's a mascot for that dunk contest. It's kind of nasty, you know what I mean? And the thing, he's an incredible dunker, you know, what he's able to do at his height, his creativity. But I just wish that he had more competition, because it looks sad out there.
That's true.
You know, like, and any other time, he'd be Mount Rushmore 100%, but it's almost like
He's going up against nobody.
It's like, I mean, Castle tried to do his thing. He had some pretty dunks last night, man. Shout out. He's going to be a great young star, Castle is, but it just wasn't it, man. And I was talking to my wife. I almost feel like the three-point contest should be last.
I agree with you, but I think this year was horrible. I seen some of the worst shooting I've ever seen in my life. I was like, Steph and even Dame looked horrible in the three-point contest.
But still, it's still more exciting, because you still, like, even if somebody get 19, the next person got to get 20. It still gives you some type of, I see what you're saying. And it was like 8 people that started. With the dunk contest, it's 4 people. So it's like, you do a dunk, it's not even like, the field is not even enough people for you to even care.
That's true.
If it was 8 people in the dunk contest, maybe. 4 people? Like, I mean.
But that goes to show how bad All-Star Weekend is going. that they
Right.
need to find something to get the ratings up.
For sure.
Like you have really much of no sports going on All-Star Weekend. I remember back in the day when Vince Carter went around the corner 360 and dunked it. Shaq's pulling KG back and making faces, and Kobe looking at the bench like he's like, yo, what's going on? I mean, we talking history when Michael hit the shot over KG his last All-Star game. So it's not the same cachet. The defense is horrible. The stars ain't playing as hard as they used to. And, I mean, it's not the same.
I mean, as far as the dunk contest, let's keep it honest, man. You could log on to you go on your IG right now and see a cat doing a 720.
Yeah.
And he's 14. So you're not going to be shocked anymore or impressed anymore with dunks because you can see a regular dude do these dunks. Now, if I'm a John Morant, I got my own signature shoe. I'm with Nike. I'm one of the young faces of the league. I'm going to go out there and get embarrassed by a G League dude. A lot of these cats don't want to risk they rep like that. You know what I mean? Unless you, I mean, they saying Zion, but Zion going to do that 360 windmill. Like, these cats ain't going to do nothing crazy.
It's no dunk that's really out there. Vince, Richardson, and
Levine,
all them boys.
Gordon,
they didn't took it so far now, just to the point where it's really not much else you can do. Even though I will give McClung props.
Oh yeah, he came different.
He came every one of his dunks was something we've never seen before, which he gets a plus for creativity.
For sure.
I think he's one of the most creative dunkers we've ever had in the history of the game as far as creator. But not athletically, no. Mike, Dominique, Vince, but I wouldn't put McClung up there.
Let me ask you this. It's just a real question. Like, I love what they're doing for Vince Carter. You know, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. You know, the Raptors retired his jersey. The Brooklyn Nets retired his jersey. But, I don't know, it was just a lot for me. Like, they making him like the dunk ambassador. It got kind of corny, bro. Like, I'm gonna just be all the way out there and just say they got, this guy. He was doing the dunk intros. It was a lot of Vince Carter with the dunk intros, bro. Like, I get it. Vince Carter was a very good all-around player, but I think he's just kind of like, they got him in the box for the dunking dude. And I don't know, is that good? Is it not good? Like, you talk about Jordan, it's like, yeah, he won it. Kobe won it. But you don't think about them like as just that. I feel like, because Vince Carter never won no championship, right? So he didn't get no MVP.
True.
So his thing is the dunk. How do you feel about that?
I guess because the era he came up in. I mean, if you look at the guards that played, the jump shooter was Ray Allen, the ball handler was Allen Iverson, the truth of as far as mid range was Paul Pierce, but the most well-rounded player was Kobe Bryant. And then, so what do you give him? You know, him and T-Mac are always the odd man out. So they give him the dunk, and then T-Mac is, I guess, the heir apparent to Kobe. And
The score, bucket getter.
Yeah. And so that's the situation between that situation. But man, it is what it is. But let's stay on the hardwood. Let's stay on the hardwood real quick. You got Wemby. You got De'Aaron. You got Chris Paul. And now we see what this kid Castle can do. Is the Spurs a legitimate 5 through 18? Or are they a play-in team?
I think they still need a few more pieces. You know, I think they were lucky by being able to keep Castle. You know, you got Harrison Barnes. You got little pieces here and there. Chris Paul bringing Fox up. He's showing people how to do the pick and roll with Wemby. But I still think, you like them over Denver?
No.
That's what I'm saying. You like them over OKC?
No.
So it's like, one thing I'm noticing about Wemby too, he hasn't got his defense intelligence. And what I mean by that is he's still fouling. It'd be some games, Wemby got 3 fouls in the first quarter.
First quarter, yeah.
So you could get him up out of there. It's almost like how Karl Towns was in Minnesota, where you could play D, but you out here fouling.
You just made a good point. I'm going to switch gears real quick. You made a good point. Was Minnesota high school and college for Towns. Now he's gotten to New York and he looked like he's. Listen, Brunson was the best player on that team. Karl Townsend came in and took over. This is my team. The Knicks are mine. You know, Brunson, you nice and all. You a great all-star. This is my team. And he's playing defense. You having people saying, I saw one take, a guy said this. He says, let's be straight up honest with you. Karl Anthony Towns is the best scoring big man in the league. One guy took offense and he said Joker. So he says, what move Joker does is better than Karl Anthony Towns? Karl Anthony Towns can do the hook shot. Karl Anthony Towns can shoot better than every offensive he has better handles than him. It's only one thing that Joker can do better than Cat. That's pass. So you look at Cat on the Knicks. Was Minnesota high school and college for him?
That's a great question. You know what my thing is, my theory with Cat is, I think a lot of people don't like his face. He kind of got that. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of got that kind of goofy, kind of corny energy to him, right? But you could never deny his talent. He always could shoot it. He's always been supremely skilled, but it could look a little way. You know, he's not like a dog. Like, it's not aggressive, right? And obviously he was playing in Minnesota. You don't see them on TV like that. It's not a big market. But my thing was, it was like, okay, is he going to bring that soft play to New York where the media's on your ass? You know what I mean? Everybody is aggressive with just keeping it real, right? When you look at Philly fans, you look at Laker fans, Boston fans, and Knicks fans, we're highly intelligent basketball fans. We're not looking at it like, no disrespect to some Heat fans, you know, when it's white hot, when it's time to be a Heat fan, they come out, right? But like, we're looking at the last man on the bench. We could tell you where they went to school. We're very educated on our teams. So for Cat to come over here and ball out, like, I'm very impressed. Like, he's stepped his defense up, stepped his rebounding up. They got a squad. They got a squad for years to come. Now, do I see them beating Boston in the 7-game series? No. Nah, it's going to be tough because OG. So now you're looking at OG versus Brown and Tatum, Mikal Bridges, Brown and Tatum.
Only way they win that series is Cat has to play like LeBron.
But my thing is, you could just put Al Horford on Cat. We're not even talking about Porzingis yet.
That's true.
So it's like the big wise, and they got Cornette, whatever the tall, the white dude who's like 7'1", came in there and blew him out. So the Boston just got so much to throw at you. When Drew Holiday is your fourth option,
that's true.
That's true. It's disgusting. Like, and I'm not saying Boston had their early struggles, but in a 7-game series is going to be tough. But to answer your question originally, I think it was his growth. It was able to work on his game, and now it's full bloom right now.
Yeah, he definitely getting the man of the house vibes in New York. So shout out to Cat.
For sure.
See what happens.
But who is your dark horse for the All-Star break? After All-Star break, you get serious. We got that last month, that 30-day. 45-day stretch before we get into the playoffs. What team are you looking at? Luka still, I'm a Laker fan, but I got to keep it real. Luka still looks out of shape. Luka's still trying to be friendly and kind of feel around. Like, we love the sharing of the ball, but we're going to have to get into like, hey, Luka going to control it, and Reeves and LeBron got to play off of him for him to be comfortable. We have to figure out what our offense is really going to be.
Nah, that's a fact.
Yeah, because we can't play the whole Harlem Globetrotter, everybody touch it. We got to get a set offense. If Reeves is going to come in and cook with that second unit and dominate that matchup, or is LeBron and Luka going to like kind of offset each other? We just got to see what that looks like.
I think, first to answer the first question, dark horse team, the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham playing the way he's playing, the way the team is built, everything's going, the whole trajectory of the team has changed. I can see them going on a nice little run and making the postseason in the East. East is not that strong, so I like the Pistons. To go towards the Lakers, I already know what you're going to say, and I know what most people are going to say. But I think this is my year. And when I say my year, I mean football and basketball. Bron gonna get the MVP. He gonna put the Lakers on his back. Lakers are gonna finish 2 in the West. Bron gets MVP. Luka gets into shape. I got Lakers in the finals versus the Boston Celtics, and the Lakers get swept.
The build up for the letdown.
Listen, let me tell you this. You know what the argument's gonna be now for the Bronx Sexuals? I'm just letting you know what the argument's gonna be. Remember, Mike only had him by 1 MVP. Now they neck and neck, but he got 1 MVP at 40. So we're gonna be talking about individual accolades. That's what it's gonna be.
The longevity game.
The longevity game. So he's gonna. The thing with the Lakers, with my problem with the Lakers, Prince, is I see them coming out of the West because I do agree with Shannon. I think that we pose a threat to OKC. Because they have no answer for Luka. They have no answer for LeBron. They have no answer for Reeves. Those are 3 guys who can get us at least 2-3 games in the series. I don't see that versus the Celtics. I see the Celtics making it a team game. We can only beat them if it's a team game. We have to match threes with them. And I don't think that we can. Now, if we can match threes, then the series will go 7 games. And then we'll see what happens.
Right. I know it's a lot. We picked up Lynn, who is you could go play center for the Lakers right now, right? But I feel like everybody plays small ball now, right? You got Draymond playing center right now. So I feel like our disadvantage could be our advantage. So nobody wants to see Bron at center because you have to change your lineup. And then who you gonna put a regular big out there at center? You gonna put Gobert out there?
There's no big in the league that can guard him. Not even Joker can guard.
But what big are you afraid of outside of Chet Holmgren, who is like a combo kind of person, right? Outside of Joker, what big is out there in the West that you're looking at?
But once you put your big on Bron and he goes to the top of the key, Luke goes to the paint.
Reeves, it's wide open.
Reeves gonna go off.
So
that's why I said I love them in the West. I just think that doesn't work versus the Celtics.
No, because everybody can switch.
Everybody switches on the Celtics. And the biggest issue I look at is not even that. Is that okay? We may have the best 3 players in the series, but then who has the next 7 best players? It's the Celtics.
Yeah.
Okay, Tatum and LeBron neck and neck, Luka and Brown. Then you got Reeves and whoever. But then after that, that's it.
Yeah, and when you look at OKC, right, we love SGA. He's going to get MVP this year. I feel like just voter fatigue with Joker. I think they'll give it to SGA. But you saw the other day when he struggled, they look different. It's like he is the MVP because it's like if he don't play ball, like I love Jalen Williams. Lou Dort got that. He's a 3-and-D guy, but, Chet Holmgren, he could play, but he's not like the dude to get you 35. Like, he's not that kind of scorer, at least not yet. So you saw when SGA struggled, they looked mortal. Mm-hmm. And once LeBron started going to the rim or whoever started going to the rim and they get him in foul trouble, I don't know. But you know who my sleeper is?
Who?
You know who my sleeper is?
Who?
The Clippers.
Yeah.
I'm not, do I think the Lakers could beat them? Yeah. But you got to realize with the Clippers, there's no pressure.
It's not, but you don't have there's really no ground to stand on with Kawhi. We don't know.
It's not even, and that's the crazy thing. I'm not even thinking about Kawhi. I'm looking at Norman Powell and James Harden. That's it. Like, it's funny. Kawhi is almost like their third option. How crazy is that?
That is crazy, but I think that Denver, OKC, and LA, the top 3 seeds, will demolish them in the 7-game series because it's the funny thing I've noticed about the LeBron-led Lakers when it's not PG and Kawhi, it's either just one of them, he thrives. When they both was on the team, it's like he had to deal with both of them.
Right.
But when it's just Kawhi, he thrives. When it's just Paul George, he thrives.
Right.
So it's not that much
That's
of a problem. It's not much of a problem.
Oh, I didn't mean to threaten to us. I'm just saying I think
I know you mean Black Horse.
I think they're kind of like what Detroit is in the West.
In the West,
where like they're a very good team, well coached. they got nothing to lose. You know, it's a bunch of guys who are written off.
Nah, I got you.
You know what I mean? But I just think they could. Zubac, who was an ex-Laker, I feel like they could. They're a team that everybody knows they role. Nobody ain't doing more than what they need to do. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But what else you looking at in sports, man?
Let's switch gears and talk. Let's talk a little baseball.
Baseball coming up. Spring training starts next week.
Spring training, everything. What does Aaron Judge have to do, man? Because he's turning into what you would say Peyton was in football, or LeBron was in basketball, where in the regular season he's doing Michael Jordan numbers. He's
all world.
He's all world. He's one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen. But as soon as we get to the World Series or the ALCS, we don't know who Aaron Judge is. It's like Aaron Judge just disappears.
I don't know, man. If you kind of look to the history of like the power hitter, the Barry Bonds, you know, the Mark McGwire, they really didn't have much postseason success as far as like winning World Series. So it almost doesn't translate, right? I feel like when you look at the guys like the Jeters, you know, the Wade Boggs, like people who are more cerebral, Ricky Hendricks, like people like that thrive than the power hitter. Mm-hmm. But it's one of them things, man. You could slump at the wrong time.
That's true.
You know, like pitching could I could prepare for you. I got 3 of my aces in a row. I got them going up against you, and I could change my pitching lineup and really strategize on you. And he struggled at the wrong time, boy.
Definitely. And so now you look at a series that Mookie Betts now has 3 rings because he won one with the Red Sox. So you look at that, and it's just killing the whole argument for him as one of the. Well, he's offensively one of the greats, but as far as postseason, nah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. That's what I love about baseball. It really always comes down to pitching and health.
Mm-hmm. Health and pitching, man.
Yeah, because you play so many games, man. You just whose bats are working when it's time for the bats to work. So I know Acuna's getting healthy. He's coming back. I just saw. So it's wide open, man. But I think it's the usual suspects, man. You know, the Yankees going to be in the mix. Dodgers going to be in the mix. Red Sox. Like a lot of these. Obviously the Astros. It's going to be the usual suspects in the mix, man. But let us know out there. Oh, let's talk. We got to talk boxing before we get out of here, man.
Definitely.
You know, salute to Canelo, man. He gave our boy Jake Paul the bait and switch.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, he pretty much kind of acted like he was going to fight Jake Paul to pretty much run the price up. So when Al Sheik came in, he was like, hey, I need X to fight. Ended up, Jake Paul move was a fake fight. He didn't plan on fighting him at all. Crawford's on, and he's going to fight somebody else towards the end. You know what I mean? He signed a multiple fight deal. He's looking at Crawford in September. So we'll see, man. You know what I like about Canelo? Like, when he fought Floyd, he got better as a fighter, and he got sharper as a businessman. He's getting older. He knows he's Mr. Box Office. He's going to fight on Cinco de Mayo. All the Mexicans going to come out and fight and watch him fight. He'll have 70,000 people in there.
That's a fact.
So if I know I can bring that crowd, I'm going to eat. You know what I mean? And, you know, we're hoping to go to that fight, the Bud Canelo fight. You know, he going to get at least $100 million minimum.
Easy.
And we talking like pay-per-view buys. Just by the time he done, he probably going to touch like 150, 200 million.
I say 3.
Like easy.
Yeah, I say easy 300 because, I mean, this is probably one of the biggest fights everybody been waiting to see. So it's going to be interesting. Canelo versus Crawford.
Man, I mean, and Crawford said he'll fight Boots too after that.
Oh, he did.
I mean those. I mean, for somebody like Crawford at this age and stage, man, you just got to fight. You got to get these last fights in, man. You got to get these last fights in because what else you gonna do? You know, shout out to Keyshawn Davis too, man. He just had a big win. You know, it's a lot of good things happening in boxing right now. You know, Al Sheik is really turning into Dana White, making these dudes fight. He's making them fight. It's no excuses no more, man. You know what I mean? So, You know, you look at the lightweight champions. You got Gervonta out there. You got Keyshawn Davis. Shakur is still out there with a belt. Lomachenko. It's some good fighters. It's really about the promoters at this point, man. Where what fights they gonna make happen?
Let me ask a question. If Lomachenko and Tank was on the same weight class, who you got?
Ooh, that'd be you know, if he caught Lomo earlier, you know, Lomo a little older now. Man, Tank is a beast, dog. Tank is a beast. I might go Tank.
You might go Tank? All right, what about Prime Lomo?
I would think Tank would have to knock him out, though. Like, it wouldn't be because Lomo throws so many punches. He's like, he a tree chopper. So he almost like Triple G, where they throw so many punches at you, and it's a flurry nonstop. I think in the scorecard, I think Lomo would be up there, but I feel like Tank might catch him one good time.
Facts.
And it might be night like Steph Curry. Because Tank's power and timing of when I think Tank is a very, very smart fighter. I think a lot of times people get caught up with the out the ring stuff. You know, he loud, he be wilding, he do his little chrome heart. Like, he's of the culture. He's young, bro. He's living life, young millionaire, but he doesn't cheat the game, and that's what I love about Tank.
Fact.
He don't cheat it. He don't come in out of shape. Remember, him and Adrian Broner was close. And you see where he is, you see where AB is.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So that's our show, man. Let us know, man. Tune in next week. Salute to our sponsors, Magic City Autograph, Prince Francis Group. Let us know, man. What do you want us to talk about next week? Tune in, Prince and Barty.
Yep.
Prince and Barty is your #1 source for all things sports. Now streaming on Spotify and iTunes. Prince and Barty will be doing live broadcast at several locations around the country. Follow and like all Prince and Barty's social media pages for exclusive details. There will be game tournaments, sport trivia, best fan contest, and cash giveaways all night. This can be your chance to win big.